I need you to hit right.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so what's going on with you?
Yeah, well, lots really, but the main thing is because I've got a kid who's now 7, so he's taken up most of my time, which is good, and everything. But I'm trying to get myself into sort of this work, which is family constellations, it's called, which I've been
Mhm.
really interested in for years. Are you familiar with it?
I have heard of it.
Okay, yeah.
My partner has done it.
Hmm.
I've got friends who do it. I have never experienced it, but
Okay.
they all love it.
Yeah, I love it. And I've been doing, I mean, I call my boy a constellation baby because it helped me so much, and yeah, so it's really powerful stuff. And I've done some training in it, and I've got a friend who I've met through the training. We want to sort of do it together, but I just feel a little bit, I haven't quite got the confidence. I mean, I've been a therapist for years and so I'm confident with that, but it's the group setting. I'm trying to update my website and I'm just getting a bit stuck. And I suddenly thought it'd be really nice to get in touch with you. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, we're gonna have fun with this. So you can see here in the top corner, I'm gonna draw where you're at, and then we're gonna have the vision here, and then some steps about it. We're gonna talk about it. So to start with, you are, like say, you're feeling a little afraid of jumping into the big chair.
Yeah, I think what it is, because I was a teacher for 10 years and and when I was a therapist as well, I am a therapist, you kind of know, you sort of get told what to do. Like as a teacher, especially at high school, you get told, teach this. And although I was nervous when I was young and did it, you just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then when I was a therapist, again, it's one-to-one, so it's very safe. And you have a supervisor, and you're not being judged by anybody. But in a group, it's like this group thing. Although I'm used to groups in schools, it's like, yeah, I just feel nervous, even though I know I would be careful or do it to the best of my ability and all that sort of stuff. There's still something that's holding me back.
Okay, well, I'm gonna draw a picture of you peeking from behind the tree.
Yeah, my son in my 12th house, I'm quite into astrology too. So my son's in my 12th house, which is exactly that. It's kind of, I can't quite get seen.
Yeah, well, that's what came in to me right away. It's like, this is, I'm hiding, I'm afraid, and it's not that you lack ability, but you are feeling incredibly afraid in this moment of all that. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's linked also because I'm 4th out of 5 siblings, and I think there's something about that as well. Not being the eldest and sort of
What
feeling
kind
like,
of family do you grow up in, like working class or academic or?
well, mixed. My mum's from Irish Catholic.
Uh-huh.
My dad was in the army, and then my dad was a GP, like a doctor. So it was middle class, that side. So a bit of a split as well there.
Mm-hmm. So you were the 4th of 5. So you would have been about 7 before you realized there was more to the chicken besides the neck.
I don't know how old. I mean, my younger brother was born when I was 8. So,
okay.
I mean, I just know that I loved being with all my siblings because they looked after me. But now I feel like it sort of is a little bit of a burden. Not a big burden, but it's just, that's part of the weight that I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That just sort of accepting, I need to just accept that place, but it's tricky.
Well, we're not going to force a fart here. Okay, so we're going to make this, let's make this sense here. Here you are. There we go. Okay. And so you have all this background. I'm just going to keep drawing here. You keep talking. Actually, right here, but we have a little rain cloud here because all in your mind are these little storms of terror.
Yeah, and I've got a great supervisor. Actually, I've just found this woman, Barbara, who's been doing constellations for years, and she was working under Bert Hellinger, who's the kind of founder, and she's very supportive and wonders why I wasn't very confident, and just it made me think. I was reading something, she said it's all about the present, as being in the present, which I know that's all it is, which is important. But it's almost like you say, the storm clouds and the worries.
Yeah, but we're not even going to solve that yet at this moment. It's still early. We're going to talk about some other fun things here.
Yeah, it seems to be a pattern. I have this anxiety thing. It's just like, it's almost like it, I think it helps me, but I don't know if it does. Like I used to do a lot of sport when I was, like before I had Joseph, when I was younger, and was always, and I remember doing Gaelic football and wanting to be fit for the team, and like I remember having a dream that I wasn't, and then I was picked, and it was almost like a protection factor. It's almost like I use it to protect me or something, like, oh, just in case it doesn't happen, I'll pretend.
You'll reject yourself so you don't get rejected.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
No, not something like that. Let's be real here, okay?
Well, yeah, in my dreams, slightly subconsciously.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, there's. Has there ever been a time when you've been like super disappointed with something? You had your heart set on it and then the rug got pulled out when you were younger?
Not really. I mean, it's not really, I wouldn't say. I mean, there was a guy that I was kind of obsessed with for years, but but not when I was younger. It was kind of, I mean, I've had so much therapy, and so I think there's no big traumas. I think it's more.
No. I'm not saying big trauma. Yeah. So I'm just saying, in this moment, you think about a time that you had your heart invested and the rug got pulled out.
Yeah, maybe I suppose when I went to secondary school, I guess. But again, it's because I just loved school, because I loved, being with my siblings, and then I loved being with my school friends and doing sport, and I was always just really, good at school, and it was a mixed school, just standard school. And when I was 11, my parents just didn't even question I was going to go to a girls' school, and I just hated that, I think, because I just loved being a tomboy, and I couldn't even say it. They gave me a choice of 2 schools, and I picked one all my friends were going to. But that was, I suppose, that felt like I couldn't speak. There's this thing about not being able to say what I really feel I want, which was sport. And I really wanted to there was a sports school I remember they used to talk about. I really wanted to go. So sports were I just lived for sport.
And that was all with Gaelic football?
No, that was everything. I didn't get into Gaelic football until I was older. No, it's anything: swimming, tennis, running, anything
kinesthetic and sporty. So in this moment, I'll tell you right now, this is a ding ding, because my heart is hurting right now of the grief that you and your English culture of the stiff upper lip is avoiding. Like, so it's this stuff matters. And so you had your heart set on it, let's say, right? And it never happened, and it's all you dreamed about. So as a young woman warrior, you want to go out there and compete, and it's all you dream about. You live, breathe, eat, and sleep it. And then, no, not for you. Sorry, everyone else, but not you, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm just, when you say everyone else, because my dad's sister's, her son was like going for the Olympics, and diving, so I didn't even think at the time, but it's like she took him everywhere. My dad just wouldn't get me up for swimming. He was like, you've got to do it yourself. And
so you were abandoned in your dream.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, like that.
Mhm. And
Mm,
I mean, it's probably not personal, but it still, your needs weren't met. So there,
mm,
boom, you go. And this gets programmed in a weird way, even though no one tortured you, but they
mm,
really profoundly let you down, and therefore you're not worth investing in. So
mm,
why should you invest in you?
mhm. Yeah, that's touching me. I mean, it's difficult because I mean, my dad's died, and I spoke to him about it before he died. You know, I used to get cross about it, and also realistically knowing what, you know, top sports people have to be psychologically strong, and I know I wasn't, you know, because of the family I was in, and blah blah blah. So there's lots of kind of things that I know it wouldn't have helped. But yeah, but even a small level, my dad wouldn't come and watch me. Yeah, but I mean, things did get mended a bit. I played tennis a lot as I got older as well, and my mum and dad came to watch once. And my mum was just so into it, and that's the sad thing, is my mum was just depressed the whole of our childhood. But when she saw me as an adult play tennis and play Gaelic football, she was just like, you know, shouting for me, and it was just a different side of her. So
Yeah, you got
some
recognition that you
healing.
needed.
Yeah, so there was some healing from it, you know, but yeah, it's still a pain there for
Yeah,
sure.
one thing, this isn't rational yet at this moment,
Okay.
because the actual expression hasn't come out yet. You know what I mean? So it's easy to be stuck in a place cerebrally with it and say, oh yeah, I can see that at a level. But you'll have your moment with this eventually, where you're going to have to just have a good acceptance of the pain of it and let yourself really feel that. I'm just putting little trophies on you here and ribbons of being like a warrior. I'm not sure if you had punk hair back in the day. I'm thinking we're, similar, generation,
Mm.
but
Yeah, I'm 51 now. Mm.
okay. Oh, when's your birthday?
In May, the end of May.
Okay, so you've got just 11 months on me.
Okay, so how old are you?
50.
Okay, and you're what, April?
Yeah,
No, the other way. Okay.
we're just gonna put this here. I'm just getting all this here because this is important. Putting it right here. Here. So this is, I think it's important, but I'm not gonna like super dwell on it at this moment.
Yeah.
So, but do you feel what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Mm.
I mean, I've got an 11th grade education and I can see it clear as day. And it's not because of any reason. It's just that I'm feeling it right in my heart,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and and that's where it's coming in. So now I see you, I hear you,
Mm-hmm.
and believe me, um, I do understand. Okay, so we're going to accept
Yeah.
radically that that's here right now,
Mm-hmm.
and these things happen. And I'm going to tell you something funny. My parents moved every 2 years, when like my up until I left home almost.
Mm-hmm.
That pattern hung out with me up until my 40s, and unconsciously like trying to find home, even though as my family was intact until I was about 16. But that toddler was grieving for the old house, even though we moved to a better house, and I didn't realize it. And my dreams would be tortured. I'd be feeling lost. I need to find home. Where do I can't ever get back home. And like, and that created false memories and like tunneling down a trajectory that, took me down due to my beliefs and my understanding of the world and how I encoded it, to having that experience over and over again. You know,
Yeah.
the huge.
Wow.
So this is, I think, just if that story is helpful, I hope it is. So
Yeah.
let's shift gears for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you said that you want to do family constellation,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to do it on like with big groups, right?
Yeah.
Now, like talking about, you know, like when you talk about a group, how big of a group?
Well, I'd start off small.
No. I don't care about your steps.
Well, the ones I've been to, the ones I go to a lot, they vary. They can be anything from 10 to 30.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's make it reasonable. So let's make it 50. Uh, all right. So now my understanding of it is limited, so I'm gonna have to grok part of it, but
Mhm.
I'm getting that you're wanting to teach and share this knowledge because it's been so helpful for you, correct?
Yeah, sure. And I just love it so much. I just want to stay in it. And
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. It's been helpful
What's
for
your
me.
favorite part about it?
Just because it's very body based. It's
Yeah.
usually body. So I think because I'm so into the body and the sports, it's when I first did it was 10 years ago with this guy John. He was 50 actually at the time. He's 60 now. The guy who runs the courses. And I just remember just being blown away that I'd had all this therapy, and it was just very quiet. People just stand and move, and you just feel in your body the feelings, and the tears just flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to be the soul. It's meant to be soul movements. The movements of the soul. But you feel it in your body, and I've got much better at feeling in my body. That's, I think, because I did the sports, and like you say, maybe the grief of that, I learned not to feel.
Yeah.
In certain ways, but like recently I've been really checking in with my bodily feelings more and getting used to that, and I just love that's the main thing. I suppose I love it. That it worked for me.
Okay, I'm just going to. So that's interesting. This is fascinating.
Well, it's like because when I was 40, I had a miscarriage at 40, and I was like in therapy, and that was an Irish guy, and we split up, and I went back into therapy with a guy because I knew I had to work on my relationships with men.
Mm-hmm.
And he did help me. He was a therapist, and he was talking about kids, and I just thought there was no way I was going to have a kid because I was over 40 and I had a miscarriage. I was kind of thought I'd accepted it, and he said, "Oh, well, you still could," and blah blah blah. And when I found this constellations, I went on a spiritual holiday and just happened upon these constellations, and I was just blown away. And that's why I call him a constellation baby, because John used to just put things in constellations of different people. And one day I said about having a baby and like put a sort of baby in place, like a soul. And this man who played my son effectively was like, "I'm so happy to be," and I'm like, it blew me away. And it almost feels like, yeah, that was something that was probably, and even the miscarriage was put in a constellation, and the woman playing my miscarriage, I still remember, she almost walked out the room, and he said, "Oh no, that's good. It just means that soul's left, and you don't have, you've grieved that." And I thought, all these things. It's like, oh my god, it's really helpful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Oh my god, they're amazing. I'd really recommend them if you know people who do them.
Yeah. Well, adventures into the unknown is my thing. So
Sure.
I definitely partake in exploring the hidden recesses of my being so I can purify what's keeping me from seeing truth or my potential. And I don't mean it, I mean it like a gentle purification. I'm willing to see and make corrections. And so what you're telling me is a way for you to identify and make corrections.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you that place. In this moment, young lady, what's your favorite color?
Yellow.
All right. Shiny yellow here. And I'm just starting with some movement.
It's very flat. You do very flattering pictures.
I'm just drawing them as I see them, young lady.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, we tend to beat on ourselves a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like your opinion about you has nothing to do with what I'm doing. You know, we've all, you know, carried garbage that, you know, we, like I said, we reject ourselves not to get rejected.
Yeah.
And it's sneaky, like it comes up in a really sneaky way. So explain one part of constellation for me. Is it like when they say constellation, is it like stars?
No, I mean, because I spoke to the woman who wrote some books, and she said it was actually, well, she told me it was a mistranslation. This one woman who's German, I think. But Barbara, who, like I said, is my supervisor who knew Bert, she said that it just came to him. He didn't know what to call it, and he just called it that. He thought it was a good name for it. It's like a field. I don't know if you, what's the guy, Rupert Sheldrake? I don't know if you've heard of him, but he talks about morphic resonance. I think he talks about it.
That's all I need. I get it with you.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to get the morphic resonance happening here.
Mm-hmm.
All the little colors of things happening here in the resonance of the harmonic and discordant, or the interplay, right?
Yeah, everything belongs. The sort of idea is everything belongs. Like everything belongs in the right place in the system, in the right time. It's like putting everything in the right place, so you don't have to carry what isn't yours, and other people don't carry what isn't theirs, and stuff like that.
This is fun. This is educational. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. It did make me laugh. The one I saw, the guy, he was an English guy that you did in Robert's show. It made me laugh because he was so wooden, and I was like, God, you were so good with him. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you think I'm very wooden because we're English, and it's like, but it was just so nice to see him come out of himself when you were doing the work.
Well, it's, you know, I understand it's cultural conditioning. You can feel someone when they're in their head or they're in their heart with something. Like I can just in my body, I feel it. And so, okay, well, let's transform this so we can get something that's radically honest and not through the narration of the story, because that's inherently dishonest. Just gotta say.
Which is why I love constellations, because it is about feeling, and I suppose in my therapy work I can feel into people, but when I'm in the group, I think that's what I'm slightly. I want to train myself to not be worried about other people, I guess, because on a one-to-one I know I can do it, but in a group,
well, they have a life outside of you, so they're thinking about their own shit. You know what I mean? They're not going, oh, her issues are so not in alignment with my issues. Like, they don't give a shit. They're there because they're in pain and they want to solve this and they want to get some relief and to like you express their full self in this world, right? You know what I mean?
They want to express their full self. Saying.
Yeah. So we are going to now just going to draw some representative of people in here and different expressions that you are going to meet. I'm going to put this down lower because I need to. lower. Oops. I haven't, you know, I've been busy in other stuff, so I haven't done a lot of illustration lately.
Really? So you,
Or a lot of this stuff lately.
okay, yeah.
Okay. So now I'll just start again. So
I was just, one of my best friend, well, she is my best friend really, I was telling her about, it's funny, when I got the timing wrong, I rang her, so it was quite a good opportunity because I don't get to ring her all the time. And I told her about you, and she was saying, God, that's funny because we live a parallel universe. It's like we always have the same things going on. But she said that her well, she's got two ex-husbands. One of her ex-husbands used to use a cartoonist for his business to like promote stuff, and I was like, God, that's such a good idea because it's an amazing tool, isn't it?
Well, it's powerful, you know.
Really
and okay, we're going to have them all in here. So look at this group. They're representing different colors, different elements. And, you know, there's, you know, the part of you that even at one time in your life with your understanding, you went on full bitch mode on somebody when you didn't understand, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
Now, can you forgive yourself for that because you didn't know?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to be able to extend that to others who they might have a face like a cat's butthole, but they're suffering, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know.
I mean, it's amazing what's happened actually since, like, it's amazing timing because, you know, you're busy, and this last week, it's almost like something shifted with my mother because I've always felt really dark energy with my mother, but it's like something shifted that I actually feel love. It's the first time real true love to my mum, and I'm like, I'm just blown away.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so it's just something's really shifted. So it's, yeah, things are really happening at pace, but yeah, because she's Irish, like I say, and I applied for my Irish passport, and since then I think things have just shifted. It's really interesting.
Well, what I'm gonna do on your picture here, I'll put a little Irish passport in there. Are they green in Ireland?
I haven't got it yet, but
I'm just gonna draw one.
It's an EU one actually, because they're members of the EU. But yeah.
Oh, okay. But we'll just say I just put a little bit of Ireland in here as your passport, as just an element.
No, it's massive. I mean, that's massively important. The constellations, that's massively important. The ancestors are so important, and that's when I realised how important they were. And I did a constellation with an Irish couple online, and hearing people with Irish accents represent my like grandparents was just, oh my God, it was so lovely.
To be sure.
Yeah, to be sure, yeah. I'm Irish and I'm proud.
Nice. Okay. So
yeah.
now let's do one part here. So you're seeing yourself here. I'm just go to this here. Just gonna make it bigger. Come on, you. No, wrong one. That one. Okay. So I have you dancing in the constellation. You got a big group around you of harmonious and discordant. You are free within yourself in this, okay? Can you just see that?
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because everyone is into themselves. So let me go back to this part here. So just get one part. Here's my, this is, we're gonna call this the, where is it? The vision, okay. So that's the vision. Okay. Okay. Now I need, sorry, okay, doesn't matter. Yeah, here we go. Now, to get this vision, now we've talked about this stuff, you know, you've got a few stories about things. Let me go up to the top here because this is important. All right, here, little garbage can, or as you say, a dustbin.
Yeah. Most of the kids call it garbage because they watch so much telly, the
Yeah.
trash. Yeah.
So now, what, you're on your deathbed now. You are on your last breaths. Now, instead of coulda, shoulda, woulda, did you rise and give everything you've got within your being of why you're here? Yes or no? Now, this is your final breath. You're dying. What was in the way? What was the one thing that you hang on to, like with a safety, but you have to let go to be who you're meant to be?
I think what you said before, it's almost like criticizing others or not understanding others' pain or something like that. Because it feels like if I criticize people who are negative to me, something like that, it's like not loving everybody.
No. We're gonna go deeper. This is about you when we talked about self-rejection, because ultimately you're gonna unfold in this. Like showing up is 86%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're waiting to know it all to show up, and you don't give yourself the gift of just like, balls out and just starting, and you're going to learn through each interaction, right?
Yeah.
You hear I'm going with this? What do you need to eliminate to start? Like there's something.
Worry what other people think about me.
Okay. I'm gonna put this in here as self-rejection, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to draw one more little cartoon of you. And I'm gonna make this really graphic. This is gonna be funny. And this is important because I'm gonna have you flushing yourself down the toilet. and we're gonna put little tears in there too. No, I don't want to. I'm so afraid of being rejected. Oh, are they the same level? Oh, it is. That's okay. I can fix that. So I'm gonna, oops. So put this right here. And I'm going to change your shirt to black because, you're putting yourself in a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'll put this over here. Center this down for a second so I can just color that. Now, I've been to the UK, so your toilets are very similar to what we have here.
Yeah. Where did you go in the
UK? Mostly Kensington. I was there with a friend. So I hung out and I wandered the streets, and I actually got invited for tea a few times just from chit-chatting on the street with my Western Canadian sing-song accent. I was quite exotic in the posh area.
That's funny.
So there we go. So see this little bit right here? There's this fear and this grief.
Funny, as soon as I got my Irish passport, I didn't, when I applied for it, me and my son went to the post office, and there was a woman, it was shut really early, and there's a woman, and we looked at her and we said, oh look, she's come to get a parcel too, but she knows it's shut. And my son thought it was quite amusing, but then I said, oh hang on, because she looked really upset, and I said, oh, we better ask her, talk to her. And she said, oh, I've got to walk all the way back. And anyway, we gave her a lift in the car basically, and which, English people don't do so much, but it's very Irish or very European.
Yeah.
I just thought, God, she was going, And then she said, "Oh, are you sure?" She was really weird, like not really weird, but, "Oh, do you want to wear a mask?" And I was like, "No, please don't wear a mask."
Yeah.
But I don't know, just something that unlocked a bit in me that was like, "Oh God, just
You mean
be."
humanity?
Yeah, exactly, humanity. Yeah, and it's like there is, because my mum was from an Irish family and my dad was English. Yeah, there's a split, and her dad was effectively a traitor because he joined the British Army, so that's part of the trauma, But anyway, that's
Oh, I get it. I
yeah,
get it. This battle has
yeah,
been fought for a long time and it's still being fomented. And
mm,
the divide and conquer of ancient Rome was adopted by the English,
mm.
right?
I guess. I mean, I'm not that into, I'm still learning really because I always avoided history. I always did maths and physics and sport. I didn't really do any humanities subject. I'm just learning all about that now, to be honest. So yeah,
Well,
the
yeah,
Romans go into Ireland apparently.
well, this isn't always a facts issue. This is
Yeah.
basically, are you willing to show up for you because the world needs you? It doesn't need you perfect. It needs you just to show up with courage and
Mm,
be an example, and you'll reach those you're meant to reach, right?
mm. Yeah.
So,
Which I know that in therapy it's always worked like that, but that's why yeah.
okay, well, I'm helping to remind you. That's all.
Thank
You know
you.
this. I'm not going to lecture you.
You're a very good therapist.
I'm a theracaturist, not a therapist.
Okay. So
Now, here we're going to go. They're going to go into practical. So, next steps. Let me get my next step sign here. Here we go. So, you've got a next step here. So, you've been taking this training. What's one really like super testicular move that you could do that would make it so you just throw yourself into it and make that step towards it?
just advertise, just book a place and advertise for people to show up, and even tell people. I'm going to a consultation in a couple of weeks with John, and even just tell people when we do a round, just say I'm doing a consultation in Hampton. That'd be really ballsy to like
Okay,
just
let's
tell
do that.
people so they know there's an option.
Mm-hmm. And pardon my colloquial, that's how I roll.
That's fine. That's good.
All right, so I'm going to make a little thing here, and you're going to put it with love. We're going to make it a little heart advertisement here, and we're going to have a little cartoon of you on here, showing the joy of it. A little bit of a backstory of how it helped you. A little bit of movement. Oops, I gotta do a second there, 1 second. I gotta make some things work here. Now, I put come experience freedom. What would be a better phrase to put in there?
Freedom of your soul, maybe there's something about the soul, but I don't know.
Well, you could be in an environment where people might be a little bit put off by that, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I'm going to put it for freedom for now. This is the start, and you are basically putting out your ad. You got your company colors in here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this in here. And you're just going to make this happen, because if you do, you don't, you're dead anyway at the end of your life. So why not? And also, you teach your child to have a set by modeling courage, even though you're terrified. I tell my kid when I'm scared, I says, you know what, son? I'm terrified. And this is why I'm doing it. Just so I clear the deck so there's no bullshit on my part that I'm like making excuses or whatever. And I'm just saying, no, I'm scared. And this is why I feel this is important for me to do. Okay, there's your little ad. And we're going to have you as your own spokesmodel. Is this fun?
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah, I'm just thinking, yeah. Now I tried to be honest with my kid and thinking about my friend. We were going to try and do something together. And this is really good.
Yeah, and well, you show up regardless, regardless of who participates. And
well, I was thinking that today actually when I was thinking about, because she's got 3 kids and we were talking about doing it sometimes, she's a bit nervous and blah blah, but then I was thinking in my head, if she didn't turn up one day and I would do it. So yeah, so you got to cover all those, even if you're doing it with somebody to give you a bit of courage or whatever. It's always good to know you've got to just show up anyway, because anything could happen to them.
But look at this, you dressed yourself today and you made it. And sometimes just jumping in the fire, like, you're a mother, that you have your eyes open 360 around your head, right? You're always doing that. In a counseling thing, you have to shift gears based on the moment. Just trust yourself. What's the worst that can happen? An awkward silence? Big deal. And you'll correct in that moment, and you'll know, oops, okay, that was wrong, and that I goofed, but you don't dwell on it. You just say, oops, okay, let's change tack here.
Well, the beauty, yeah, exactly. The beauty with the constellations, you see, the other people give you a lot of information because you're people moving around the room, so if you give somebody a sentence to say and it doesn't feel right, they will tell you or they'll let you know. So there's lots of feedback that happens, and it's just managing the group, I guess.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Just, I'm going to put this in blue here because
I've got an Aries moon. I mean, are you an Aries if you're April?
I'm a Taurus, Scorpio.
Are you? Yeah, because I'm an Aries moon, and see, I get told off for jumping into things too quickly quite a lot.
So hey, I'm waiting for you to jump. You're at the edge of the building. I'm yelling, jump, jump, jump.
I normally do. I am the one that does. But this is why this is weird. But I mean, part of it is, yeah, I don't know why. But...
You got hurt, and you didn't want to get punished for it anymore. Because it could be misunderstood, and you could have made mistakes because you were a different person, but you make your atonement, you resolve to do better, and get on with it. But there's no, like you say sorry, no buts, ifs, howevers, because you say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, please forgive me, we're gonna do better, boom, problem is solved. And then you give yourself a break. People trust you because you're that brave to own it. And when they see that really impacts them.
Actually, that really helped what you just said, because when I taught A-level physics, which I was terrified to teach in a way, and there was this boy that had got straight A's. He was amazing, and I was teaching him and he got all A's for his subjects, thank God. And I remember going to the pub, I was only 23 or something with these 18-year-olds after they all finished, or 22. And they said to me, we really liked you, because I would say to them, I don't know the answers to this. They'd ask me questions and I'm like, I really don't know, but we're going to go, all of us go away and do it for homework and come back. And they just remember, they were really appreciative, because I just thought, God, these kids are so clever. How on earth am I going to teach them? But yeah, so thank you for reminding me. It's like, just being honest and like, I don't know.
Someone who has all the answers is inherently like you. Their honesty saying, well, I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. I'm willing to see, in all things with this, right? And makes you trustable because you're not coming from your mountain like, oh, I'm gonna.
And that's what Bert Hellinger said. He said it's all observations. He didn't want to do a school because he said it's just just what happens in the room. It's you observe. If that mother doesn't want to be near that son in that constellation, you're like, there's something going on there, so it's just, you don't know the answers. And I guess it's scary. There's no rule book, but there's not a rule book to life, is there? So,
well, there's a few, and then there's interpretations.
Being honest, I guess, is one. But
well, honestly, if you took away the solipsism, you know what's right and wrong. You can feel it.
What does solipsism mean?
A self-chosen truth, so to speak. I think this is true, therefore it's true. I mean, like, it's like a cherry picking of different ideas to make a truth, regardless of the facts. Like, this is my truth. There's a difference between like, yeah, this is true. Then there could be like preference. This is my preference. And you'll see that a lot even with people like, and so there are a lot of people out there, and this is good news for you. And I don't want to be like Schadenfreude. People are going to be smelling the coffee here, and they are going to be losing their shit, and they're terrified, and they're going to need help to integrate this, right? We are interdependent. And as you heal, the ones you're meant to help find the way, that's what you're here for. And they need you, and they're waiting for you. You're waiting for you. So think about that. Your future self is waiting for you. Your wounded child is waiting for you.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's not like you have to, you get to. Because at the end of this, you'll know that you had risen and you showed up. And there's times when people were there with you and you had these transformations and they're present, and how grateful you are to those who were scared and they showed up. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Just have to be true to me and, like I say, show up. And
yeah, it's been, a lot of this operation started as soon as the TVs were, or the furniture was turned to face the TV, and TV became like a really acceptable recreation. There's no safe TV.
Yeah.
And it's programming. We are like giant antennas in this mind matrix. We absorb things like, so as you, what's that?
No, I was thinking, because I went for a walk. I lived near the beach, and I went for a walk down the beach before, because my kid's dad's put him to bed. And I was just thinking about, because I saw you on Robert's program, and I was thinking, it's like you both seem like kind of celebrities, because I saw you on the screen, and I was thinking it's really weird, and you probably don't think of yourself as a celebrity, or Robert, but it's like that's what we're used to. Like, screens mean celebrity, it's like I was really thinking about that. I think it's really just such a nuts world, isn't it? That
no pedestals here, because they don't serve anybody. They don't serve me. They don't serve you. Robert does what he does because he cares deeply. I do what I do because I care deeply. Do I always get it right? No, but I'll adjust course as I need to fix if I've made a mistake. And that's the beauty of it. You get to give yourself the freedom of your own unfoldment. Okay, like for example, you know, really good friend of mine, she's a therapist. And I'm like, people pay you for you to work out your own stuff with them.
Exactly.
I go, that's nice work if you can get it.
Well, I know, exactly.
And you know, she's brilliant because she's so self-reflective and trustable. And so I think it's good. So I tease her a little bit about it. And
it's true. And Alice Miller said that. Alice Miller said, you know, you should always ask your therapist why they're in it, because if they're not in it to solve their own problems, don't bother going to them, because you've got to, you know, you've got to be doing your own work. But obviously, you know, you want to help everyone, but you've got to help yourself.
Well, in the moment, if you're present outside of all agendas, you get the message. Like when our time here, like I just go with what's in my gut. You know, I could be totally wrong. And I was counting on you to set me straight if I was wrong. I just went with my guts.
Thank you.
Okay, one more exercise. Put your hand on your heart. So you breathe in that spot. And you say, I'm important. Out loud.
I'm important.
Again.
I'm important.
Okay, now maintain eye contact with me as you say it. I'm important. Yeah. And you feel that pain coming up there, that part of you that wants to beat the crap out of you and say, no, 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 no. This is part of the battle that you get to see the illusion of it. That, you know, either it's a protector part or it's just something, a false program that wants to maintain and keep you stuck. So if you're willing to feel that pain and still go, that's what the big girls do. That's what the women do, right? So that's what we do. You know, when we want to go to the front of the line, we do it first, and we're scared. So it makes you garden variety, not, you don't have the market cornered on screwed up. You're just garden variety like all of us. Your act of courage actually gives others courage, believe it or not. They're watching and they're scared. And scared people will make their fear virtue, which is really twisted, but that's kind of what happens. But believe me, your act of courage is encouraging others. And you've seen someone who you got courage from watching them, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, you give me a lot of courage, and Robert, you know, just he keeps going, and just a few people I watch, you know, keep me going. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. Thanks for sharing honestly.